Hello guys, today I would like to make a video how to make this awesome round dress with horse braid trim around the edges. You don't need a pattern for this dress, and you probably learned by now that I don't really like patterns. You will need 4 to 6 meters of any light fabric, depends on the length of it. You also will need some intermediate skills of sewing and the horse braid trim itself. Actually, loads of it. Loads. First, I'm starting to lay out the fabric on the floor. In my case, I've chosen some fabric from Dunelm store, which costed me £2 per meter. Yes, it is awesome, super bargain. I love how it lays next to my skin. I love the color of it. It's shimmery and it doesn't look that cheap despite the price point. I bought 6 meters just in case. Folded in half and cut it in the middle. Now I'm going to sew the edges together so I can have a bigger square from which I'm going to cut a circle. I decided to join the edges together on an overlocker with roller hem seam. I love how neat it looks and doesn't require lots of work. After I finish the seam, I'm ready to cut the circle. I laid fabric on the floor and made sure that all corners are matching. Then I folded fabric into triangle and then folded it more. Now I'm ready to cut the circle. I don't use any measurement, which probably my bad, but I'm impatient. Usually love to provide people with ideas rather than execute them, so sorry. You will see me doing lots of correction afterwards. The fabric is not easy to cut, the edges are rough and lots of threads coming out, but I hope that once I'll start to sew it, it won't be that visible on the finishing project. Once the circle is done, I'm cutting the neckline just using my eye measurement. Man, did I cut too much? Well, it doesn't matter, I will correct later. Next, I'm trimming the front edge, which is supposed to be shorter than the back. You are welcome and probably most recommended to use some charcoal and measurement tape. As for me, I guess I will face and own all faults that I made for my lazy ass that can't get bothered to climb to the 3rd floor to get some tape. Correction, correction again, and again, and again. Struggles of the true artist. Then I lay my garment on the side and starting to cut the sides to even front and back. As you've seen at the start of the video, the back of the dress is longer than the front, so I just need to even the sides without touching the back. Then lots of correction again. I need to make sure that circle has even edges. And voila! The next step is to overlock the whole garment with roller hem on an overlocker all around the circle. You guys, I've had this overlocker for over 15 years now and never even had to change the knife. Quality! And my best friend by now. We've been through a lot, baby. Now that the edge is done, I'm trying to put the garment on. I want to see how it will look on me, at least approximately. You probably noticed that the hole in the middle is bigger by now. That is because I figured out that I will also need some space for my arms. I divided the neck and arm hole with safety pins for now. Later I will join them with needle and thread. Don't be scared by non-ironed sides of the dress. I will iron them later. Now on to most difficult and a bit annoying part of the dressmaking. Attaching horse braid trim. It is not easy task, but results are so rewarding. First, I need to attach the edge of the plastic trim to the edge of the dress. For this, I'm using an overlocker again. Please take your time and be really careful. And this is how it looks attached. Quite neat and cute. Next, I'm doing another thread using sewing machine this time, stitching on the top of the garment in order to attach plastic trim from the other side. Not very long footage, but I hope you get it, guys. After the first round of attachment was done, I've realized that plastic trim is not strong enough to hold the shape, so I decided to do a second round. I'm literally following the path of the first trim and stitching on the top of it via sewing machine. After both trims got attached, I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do now. I decided to just fold it inside and stitch on the top, following the other edge of the trim. Don't be scared of rough looking edges. Once the dress will be on, it won't be so visible with all the folders and so on, so relax. Next, we're going to work on the neckline. We need to make a binding first. I wish I could use a common sense and just buy some proper color matching binding, but no, I needed to make my own one. In order to make binding, from the most difficult fabric of course, I'm using some left pieces of the same material. For those of you who don't know, if you are planning to make your own binding, make sure that the grain line of the fabric is diagonal so it can stretch properly during stitching. Cut out even pieces of the fabric, fold it in two, then fold it in two again. Basically, it's not easy to explain exactly what I'm doing right now, so if you don't get it, guys, just buy color matching binding. Trust me, it will save you lots of time. After the binding is prepared, I start to sew it onto neck and armhole lines by hand stitching first. This is an essential part of the sewing. I think it's very important to attach binding by hand first, so it will be much easier to run it through on the sewing machine. Unless you're a super experienced seamstress with million years of experience, unlike me. And this is how our binding looks like with hand stitch sewing. Now we have to iron it and get it under the sewing machine. Please take a note of joint neckline and armholes. After I finish with sewing, I will hand stitch together the shoulder part so it can be separated into 3 holes. Now me showing the sewing part, how I attach the binding. After our binding is done, it's pretty much it. I'm trying on the mannequin first before trying it on myself. Now, during this journey, I definitely made some mistakes. This fabric is damn too difficult to iron. You can see it on the sides. I probably should have eased the thread much more on Overlocker, but I've got an excuse. I'm not professional seamstress. However, I hope I inspired you guys with some of my ideas. If you like this video, please do a thumb up. Please subscribe to my channel. There are more videos to come. Bye bye.